Ivanka Trump's dark past is surfacing. She wanted to be under the radar this term, act like she wasn't a part of the grift and the corruption. Sorry, Ivanka, you just couldn't help yourself. You and Jared Kushner had to take over an Albanian island, the Sazan Island, a beautiful ecological masterpiece that you want to turn into some grotesque Trumpenstein thing. The people of Albania have shed a bright spotlight on the grift taking place. You and Jared Kushner doling out $4 billion to turn this island into some Trumpenstein grotesque thing. The Albanian people do not want the Trump name destroying their beautiful islands. They let you know exactly how they feel. So now what, Ivanka? You run to the Prime Minister of Albania, Edi Rama, and he goes, "They're declaring hybrid warfare on me and Ivanka and Jared. It's hybrid warfare because they know that I support Israel, and that's why they're doing the hybrid warfare. This is an attack. There's no development taking place." There is a development taking place. Ivanka and Jared have talked about taking over this Albanian island. The Albanian people know what's taking place. What? It's Jared's affinity partners that gets all its money from the Middle East with all of these quid pro quo deals. So is that why you're saying it's not them directly? We know what's going on, and the cover-up continues. And so we should reflect on Ivanka's very dark past. The days when Donald had her model for John Casablancas. Of course, Casablancas is in the Epstein class. He died under mysterious circumstances, but he was known for being a pedo, and he would brag about being with 15 and 16-year-old girls before he died, sexually assaulting them, using his modeling agency to lure young girls. Donald Trump had Ivanka model for John Casablancas. Jean-Luc Brunel was one of Donald Trump's close buds. Jeffrey Epstein, that was the crew. Donald Trump brought Ivanka around Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, there are photos of Donald Trump, Epstein, and Ivanka together. I mean, how sick and disgusting can you get? And then, of course, as you go back to Ivanka's dark past, you have Donald Trump talking about how, he shares sex in common with Ivanka. When Howard Stern said Ivanka is a nice piece of ass, Donald Trump said, yeah. She was with Donald Trump when he said that he was a sexual predator in response to Howard Stern saying it. She looked and she nodded, yeah, he's a sexual predator. This is a sick group of people. And then Donald Trump had the New York Times and others back in the 90s write articles about a teenage Ivanka wearing like see-through dresses. What the hell is even going on here? So I just want to break this down piece by piece with you, shall we? The first thing I want to just show you is the most up-to-date information, where you have the Prime Minister of Albania, Edi Rama, now saying Ivanka and Jared aren't taking over an Albanian island. It's hybrid warfare. You see, when you have limitless money like Ivanka, when you have unlimited money like Ivanka, you can get prime ministers of Albania to go on TV and declare hybrid warfare. Here's what he had to say. Play this clip.
It's to be discussed because there is no yet project approved, right? So first we need to have the project, then to see the project, then to discuss the project. But we can't discuss something that does not exist, but that is being presented in the whole overall social media through a hybrid war against Albania, through false narratives like the project is not the project, but it's something cooked between me and Bibi Netanyahu through Jared Kushner to bring the Palestinians in Zvernets. And I think the Western media should be much more careful because...
Also, oddly, in the same interview, Edi Rama, the Prime Minister of Albania, whose house is now being burned down by the Albanian people, said, "When I think about the European Union, I think about God, sex, EU." Anyway, sex? What are you talking about? Listen to what he had to say yesterday. Let's play this clip.
Together. When Albania will join the EU, there are three things you can't predict. Three, right? God, sex, and the EU.
And so I reflect on the creepy things that Donald Trump said about Ivanka, that he shares in common with her. Sex, all the other stuff he said, just to remind you of the dark past therein. Let's play this clip.
Yet at times, his fatherly praise is downright cringeworthy, like on The View in 2006.
I said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird. Stop. You know what? You are sick.
Far from protecting his daughter from being talked about as a sex object, he has encouraged it multiple times. On Howard Stern's radio show in 2004 and then again in 2006.
By the way, your daughter,
She's beautiful.
can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous.
It's
She's tall.
unbelievable.
She's almost 6 feet tall.
In May, Ivanka described herself as a feminist while defending her father on CBS after a scathing New York Times article about his alleged negative treatment of women.
Is there unending commentary on the female form?
No. I've known my father obviously my whole life, and he has total respect for women.
Please welcome the lovely Ivanka Trump.
Still, even Ivanka seemed confused when talk show host Wendy Williams asked about things the two have in common.
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
Donald Trump has always been proud of his daughter.
I'd call collect to his office. I was probably, 10 years old. He would pick up the phone every single time, and he'd put me on speakerphone. It wouldn't be a long conversation. He'd introduce me to whoever was in his office.
And he was front row when Ivanka took to the catwalk during her short-lived career as a fashion model. Still, Donald Trump repeatedly points out how hot his daughter is, saying last year in a Rolling Stone article, "Yeah, she's really something, and what a beauty, that one. If I weren't happily married and, her father."
My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
Yeah, she's hot.
Ivanka continues to defend her.
I remember seeing a documentary of Ivanka also when she went back and she looked at the room that she grew up in, and her eyes told you everything about what her childhood must have been like, in my opinion. Remember seeing this where she went back to her room and she was reflecting on what happened there? Let me just show you what she said. Here, play this clip.
This was my bed. It's a little small for me now. Probably why I don't stay in here anymore, but yeah.
And what floor are we on?
We are on the 68th floor. Not a bad view to wake up to.
Before Noble, I never really thought much about my luggage beyond whether it fit in the overhead bin, but once you realize how easy it is to break into most suitcases, it's kind of alarming. A ballpoint pen can pierce a zipper in seconds, and someone can re-zip it so that it looks untouched. That's your passport, laptop, medications gone before you even land. That's why I am obsessed with Noble Travel. You can see my Noble suitcase right here. Noble completely removes the zipper. It's a zipperless, latch lock suitcase that closes like a safe. The two halves meet with a tight seal. You hear and feel the click when it locks. No more stressing out every time your bag is out of sight. And it's not just more secure, they have fixed everything annoying about travel. There's a built-in charging port to keep your phone alive at the gate, a front laptop pocket that makes TSA a breeze, and my favorite feature, a flip-out cup holder built right into the luggage. You heard that right. Plus, smooth 360-degree wheels make it effortless to roll through the airport. And don't just take my word for it. Over 500,000 suitcases sold, the highest-rated luggage brand in the category on Trustpilot. Over 12,000 flight attendants and pilots already swear by Noble, and TSA agents even say that it helps prevent theft and tampering. Noble's all-in-one carry-on is the durable safe, advanced luggage you have always dreamed about. Every suitcase comes with a 100-day money-back guarantee, free 3-day express shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Noble gives you a real travel peace of mind, security, design, and convenience all in one. Head to nobletravel.com for up to 46% off your entire order. That's NOBL travel.com for up to 46% off. After you purchase, they will ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you.
Or when Donald Trump made her model for John Casablancas, here's what she had to say. Play this clip.
First stop, makeup. From there, it was time for a funky do, where her hairstylist was hitting on her dad's fortune rather than her.
Can you ask your dad if he's got $500,000 he can lend me?
Next up, we got a sneak peek at the clothes she'd be wearing.
This is my last outfit, which is absolutely gorgeous.
And all that was left was showtime. So how did it go?
I think it went well.
And there are more statements from Ivanka at that age. Here's what she had to say as well. Let's play this clip.
My family has money and they can support me, but I model because I love to model. And it's something that I enjoy doing. So I don't think it's fair that they made me sound greedy about it and all, because I model because I love to model. And that's really all there is to it.
Now, I reflect on Edi Rama, the Prime Minister of Albania, saying that we're not doing any projects with Ivanka and Jared Kushner, really, because here's what Ivanka said in her own words. Play this clip.
I'm working on an incredible project with my husband in the Mediterranean. It's massive in scale.
I think that's an understatement. Can you explain?
Yes, it is.
There's no power on this island. You're building everything from scratch. Correct.
Well, it's an unbelievable, beautiful 1,400 hectare private island in the middle of the Mediterranean. We were on a friend's boat and we stopped for a swim. Effectively, that's how we found it. We swam to the island. We went on a hike barefoot all the way up to the top, and we were just captivated.
And here's what Jared had to say in his own words. Play this clip.
I was on a vacation after we left government in the summer of 2021. We were on our friend Nat Rothschild's boat. We got picked up in Montenegro, and then we started sailing over to Corfu, and we spent a couple days in Albania. One of the nights there, Prime Minister Rama came to the boat. I had not met him when I was in government, but I was very, very impressed with his vision for what he wanted to do with Albania. I really didn't know anything about the country. I didn't understand the history, and the darkness of the history with the communism and the terrible leadership actually led to it being fully undeveloped as a nation. But Eddie came in. He has one of the cool things I was attracted to is the fact that he seemed like a very skilled politician, as a very strong and smart leader, but also the fact that he was an artist. I thought it'd be very cool to see what a country really led and built by an artist could be.
Yeah, all these people do is lie. And then Ivanka, I guess she wanted to get good PR after all of this disaster came out about what she's doing in Albania. And then so she gave this weird interview about being entrepreneurial and how great she is. And then she does this like fake voice that she does. And she's like, I'm an entrepreneur and I do 800 acres in Miami. Here, play this clip.
My fashion brand, we were doing over 800 million in sales annually. I was running all real estate acquisitions and development for the Trump organization. So I was building the old post office at the same time as I was building Trump Doral, which is 800 acres here in Miami.
And she just says a bunch of gibberish right here about, like, if you want to escape competition, you have to, I don't know, what do you have to do? Be a Nepo baby? Here, play this clip.
Build something that fully comes from you, and that will feel most right. And it's also the thing that's least replicable. I love the idea of just escaping competition through authenticity, but you have to do the hard work of knowing who you are.
Then she talks about being an entrepreneur when we know she's no entrepreneur. What the hell are you even talking about, Ivanka? This is how I guess she wants to cover up all of the bad press about Albania. So odd. Here, play this clip.
The best leaders, the best entrepreneurs, they can see clearly. They can find the signal in the noise. I think about it almost like the golden thread. Like there's one thread you can pull and the sweater unravels. Or you can do 1,000 different things. So really honing in on like what are the variables that matter most.
And then do you remember during Donald Trump's first term when all of the world leaders wanted nothing to do with her, and Donald Trump would have her show up at all of the events and the world leaders would just ignore her? Play this clip.
Yes, but this is more social justice.
It's all, yeah. As soon as you start talking about the economic aspect of it, though, a lot of people start listening who wouldn't otherwise listen.
And the same with the defense side of it.
Yeah.
In terms of the whole sort of ecosystem, it's been very male dominated. So.
Or when Karen Friedman Agnifilo, you know Karen Friedman Agnifilo, on the MeidasTouch network, world-renowned criminal defense attorney, former top state prosecutor. She was in the courtroom during Donald Trump's criminal trial and civil trials, and she remembers the testimony of Stormy Daniels talking about how when Donald Trump was having sex with Stormy Daniels, he would say, "You remind me of Ivanka. You remind me of Ivanka." When Donald Trump was having sex with a porn star, he was telling the porn star, "You remind me of Ivanka." How utterly sick. Here, play this clip.
And, look, she also talked about Trump's wife, that, Trump said that, Melania is very beautiful, but we don't sleep in the same room. Apparently, Trump shook his head at that point. She talked about, the whole thing about, he asked her about condoms and does she wear condoms as a porn star? Of course, everyone knows he's a germaphobe. Then, like, at one point before they have sex, he's like, he reminds me of Ivanka. I realized the context that it was in, it seemed like it made sense. But when you know that he then had sex with her afterwards, it's so disgusting. I don't know. But
so you have Jared and Ivanka bragging to the world right now as markets are crashing, as the American people, more importantly, more significantly, are suffering, can't afford anything, how they went on Nat Rothschild's yacht. They found an Albanian island. You didn't find anything. That island existed before you showed up. What the hell are you talking about? Belongs to the Albanian people. It's protected land. Gonna put your Trumpenstein hands on it? Sick. And we discovered this island. And by the way, that island, because of some of its past being part of the Soviet Union in the past, has all these underground tunnels in it. We don't even know what the hell these people want to do with this island. It's sick. It's disgusting. We're going to call it out on the MeidasTouch network. Everybody hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. We're just going to tell it how it is here.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the MeidasTouch podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for new updates every single day.